This is John Chapman with the 49ers Rush podcast, and you are watching CG Ruthless Sports. Hope you're ready.
You know, some people out there, when they talk, they fake the funk. You want brutally honest? Well, if you want brutally honest, look no further than CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
CG Ruthless Sports.
CG Ruthless.
If you want your sports talk to be brutally honest, come check out CG.
CG Ruthless.
If you're not watching CG Ruthless, I don't know what to tell you. Representing the Niner Empire.
CG Ruthless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Enjoy My World. What's up, girl?
Hey, how are you?
Tell everybody where they can find you on social media platform, unless you don't have a Twitter no more.
Yeah, so I got rid of everything except for Twitter. Except for YouTube. So you can find me at Enjoy My World, which is on there for YouTube. Other than that, I have no other social media.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So this matchup alone, the preview matchup, I feel like the Falcons might have a chance to at least get that 7th spot. What do you think?
Touch and go. It's touch and go. It just depends on how we finish out on our last 3 games. Actually, we beat y'all this week. We might have something going on, but we definitely got to win our last 3 games to even think about if we will get the number 7 spot, because we have a bunch of other teams that have the same record as us. So, I think New Orleans is has the same record as us, I believe. So we definitely got to beat them our very last game. And I want to say we played the Giants and then y'all. So if we win out, then we may have a chance at the 7th spot, but we definitely got to win. We can't lose any more games. And I think our last 2 games are at home, and we are 0 and whatever at home. We have not won any home games. So we have to see how it goes in the next 3 games.
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like this Atlanta Falcons team, I mean, at first you guys were kind of like the team that everybody was just blowing leads, and then kind of just struggled for a while. Then they started finding a little bit of their identity. And then quite lately, they've been kind of playing decent. So I'm like thinking, man, this might be a playoff atmosphere game for the Niners, because last time we played you guys gave us a trap game. So it's anybody's guess. I mean, is there something about how you guys have familiarity with us, because Kyle Shanahan and all the other stuff? So, I mean, I feel like the Atlanta Falcons just really they really kind of seem to give us a little bit of problems. But what do you feel about your matchup? Like, I feel like even without Calvin Ridley, you might still find some good production out of your receiving core.
So with us, I really think that if I had to take a stab at it, I would say that our receiving core is okay. We still don't have that wide receiver 1, and we have a running back 1, which is Cordell Patterson. But then, with our salary cap, we don't know how that's going to go next year. But, that's really our star player right now is Cordell Patterson. So we lean on him a lot. When we had him missing these last 1 or 2 games, we didn't get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we rely on him a lot. Now, when it comes to our defense, sometimes that's touch and go as well. We don't have that big on our offensive line or our defensive line. All our guys are small. So we're going to have to try to hold up some of that, what you all have, So with the way things have been going this season, you don't know what you're going to get with the Falcons. You really don't. It just depends on how everybody plays. The main thing is going to be that Matt Ryan is going to probably have to throw down the field. We can't do these 1, 2, 3 yard passes, because that has not even been working for us none this season. We're going to have to go downfield. You got your Kyle Pitts, that can make good plays. But see, then our people been dropping balls and stuff. So it just depends on where their mindset is, and how the playbook is going to be ran. And like you said, Kyle Shanahan knows us. He knows everything about our team. Really, we haven't really lost anyone. Maybe a couple of people that might have went to Dallas, but other than that, he knows everything. So it's really us against him because he knows how to run everything. He knows how we run. So I don't know, man. It's one of them games that it could go either way.
Yeah, it could definitely go either way. But which Falcons team are we gonna get? Like you said, you're not sure which one it is. Can it be the one that we blow the brakes out of, or the one that's gonna give us a really good game? So it's like I see that your offense is still kind of like since Calvin really left, it kind of hurt a little bit of your receiving core production. But isn't there another receiver like Russell Gage? He's another good one.
Gage as well as Allison, but Calvin really didn't really hurt us, if that makes sense. Thank you for the sub. And when you come to my channel, a lot of it is gambling. I do talk about sports on the weekends, but a lot of it is gambling. So I'm just letting you know up front. But when it comes to our core, once again, Calvin really didn't really make or break us, because when he was there, he wasn't playing as a wide receiver 1. To me, he still was wide receiver 2 material. So we didn't even really lose that. I think the problem with the Falcons is a lot of the players that you guys are starting to see now have been on our team. But when we had Dan Quinn, we did not utilize them. So, I think that was part of some of our seasons that we failed because we weren't using the core that we have now. We could have interchanged some of those guys that we had years back, and moved them in with the guys that we're playing with now. So, again, it falls back to we don't know what team you gonna get. It depends on the mindset and if they really want to win that 7th spot, they gonna do what they can. But who knows?
Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, like you said, like I think your best player, like you just said, Cordero Patterson, which is kind of like your own Debo, because Debo's playing running back too, and then you got Cordero Patterson doing it both ways, and then. Like I think Cordero Patterson doesn't get much recognition for the way he does stuff. Like if you look at the way he played before, everybody wasn't sure if he was a wide receiver in the beginning, but he was more of a running back too. He had the little gadget plays.
Yep.
If he would have been utilized the earlier years, I think you would have had the same argument with him and Deebo Samuel in that same conversation.
And you know what? Because I'm a season ticket holder, I'm usually right at the area where the Falcon team comes out at. And what I've learned is that guy on and off the field is an amazing person. And we can actually use him in the Wildcat play because what I do know is he can lob a ball. He every home game, he stands on the field and he throws the ball as far as he can in the first section all the way at the top. And then of course they throw it back to him, and he does a lot of those reps, when they're practicing or whatever, getting ready for the game. So we can utilize him in many different areas, like you said, wide receiver, because he's big enough and tall enough to do exactly what Julio Jones was doing, to be quite honest with you. I just think that if we use some of our players as, like, what I've noticed is they never, like, our coach never puts out all of our people at the same time like in a decoy type of way. So like you can use Cordell Patterson, you can have Pitts out there, then you also can use Hurst and our third string tight end, for decoys. Just switch it up because people know how we're gonna play. But he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. And to be honest, to me, he's the best player on the team, both offense and defense, if you ask me right now.
Yeah, like in his early years, they just thought of him more as a receiver because of the way he had that speed and that specimen talent coming out of Tennessee. But now that you're starting, like I've seen what Atlanta's doing, Atlanta's starting to use him the right way. I think that's exactly in this trend that he could have been used in the beginning. You had the Percy Harvins of the yesteryears who were doing stuff like this, but weren't getting those type of production like you would expect out of Deebo Samuel. Look at Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel was putting on some ridiculous numbers. Everybody was thinking of him as a wide receiver, and now that he's just a running back. Like, That's the same way you guys are doing with Cordell Patterson. No disrespect to Mike Davis, but I think Cordell Patterson is just a far better running back.
Mike Davis is a waste of money. He reminded me of Steven Jackson when we went and got him for no damn reason at all. Mike Davis, although he did something last week or this game that we just played, I'm still not convinced. I don't foresee us having him next year. Cordell Patterson, on the other hand, we're going to have to move around a lot to keep him because we don't have any money because Matt Ryan got it all. So we don't have that salary cap. And I'm hoping to God that we can keep Cordell Patterson because he is amazing. He is what makes our team right now. So, will we finally get a win at home? The Giants, I would think that we can beat them, but then again, all the teams that we should have beat at home, we did not, or we played 3 quarters and forgot how to play the 4th quarter. So you can't count any team out when they playing against us. So hopefully, if we do win any games, it'll be those last 2. And I want to say it's the Giants, and I definitely know the last game is the Saints, and we got to beat them if we at least want to have a chance to the 7th spot. So yeah.
Yeah, because at this point, Atlanta does have a decent chance to at least get to that 7 seed. But like you said, you're not counting on it, just like most of us. Like I'm kind of looking in the same approach. The way we've been playing, we've been showing little ups and downs at this point of the season. But when I think about it like this way, the Niners definitely have the favorable schedule. When it comes down, people are kind of looking at it and say, well, they just beat Cincinnati. Atlanta's just not in that same level as the Bengals, so maybe this is a winnable for them. And then they kind of look into the next schedule. But the one that concerns me is Tennessee. Which Tennessee team are we going to get? And then you got the Texans. That's a winnable one. And then the Rams, which we already own for quite some time. But now that we look at it this way, Atlanta kind of has something to play for. Oh, yeah. They already played the job. Oh, I think she meant to say the Lions.
Dang, who do we play? Yeah, you're right. We did play the Giants. And did we lose? No, did we lose against them?
No, you guys beat them.
We were losing against teams that we should have never lost to. We just wasn't getting it together.
Yeah, it was like you guys played the Giants earlier. Yeah, and you guys beat them.
Oh dang, I'm all off. We played the Lions, the Bills, and the Saints. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Yeah, like I get mixed up on my schedule too sometimes. Like I remember I was like thinking the other day I was like saying, we're playing Tennessee, and I'm like, oh nope. I guess I went off a little bit. Yeah, game winning. Yeah.
Being a season ticket holder, they've gotten so cheap. Usually every year they'll send us a schedule. They didn't even send us a schedule this year. And because we've been so trash at home, I have not even paid attention to the schedule. So yes, we played you all, the Lions, the Bills, and the Saints. We need all 4 games. The Bills don't give us a run for our money, but that's an away game. So hopefully we can beat them at their home. So
oh, there's another guy, Real Talk, Not a Talk. Oh, I guess he might have said something too soon. I don't know. We can't get too ahead of ourselves, but I think that Atlanta's gonna have to, because they're trying to make a push for the playoffs. But a lot of us feel that confident. I mean, I don't blame Real Talk, Not a Talk feeling that same energy. I mean, we just beat the Bengals, which that's a good team. It's just. Beating Atlanta would be the next test. I mean, this is a playoff vibe. I feel like we definitely do need to slow down Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson is like no ordinary player. He's kind of like another Debo, just an older version, the more speedster way. He's built like he's a receiver, built like a running back, just like that.
Yep.
And the question is how we're going to slow him down. Like, I feel like that might be the only tricky part because our defense against the run it's not that great. It's ranked in the 20s or something like that. Yeah.
Well, check out our defense. I don't even know where we sit at with our defense or our offense. But it's just gonna be that we cannot win games doing short passes, and that's our problem. We can't we have to get yardage, and we're gonna have to put the ball in the air to beat y'all. And actually to beat any team. Especially the Bills. We just gonna have to put the ball in the air. I mean, that's just bottom line. But then that goes to talk about our quarterback. He's getting older now. Arm isn't as strong as it used to be. So they kind of have to make do with what we got. As long as our offensive line can halfway hold up your boys, we should be okay, and we could come out with a W. But like I say, it all depends on the fight. If they want to go to the playoffs, or if they want to say the hell with it, and we try to get some new, some good draft picks to fill in the holes. Because boy, we definitely got a lot of holes. And if it had anything to do with me, I'd clear 90% of the roster.
Yeah, it's more of a rebuilding team because you don't have Julio Jones. You don't have, like, majority of the guys that you have, Dan Quinn took with him to Dallas, and then you got a lot of other guys. I think the one concerning factor that may concern me a little bit for Atlanta is their offense. A little bit of, they can really make Cordell Patterson into something, and Kyle Pitts is no ordinary like rookie tight end. I think he's actually kind of had like a really breakout year, but I feel like he's a lot better than what people give him credit for. I don't know how some of them are saying that he's a bust when he's already over 100, like over 700 yards. I don't get it.
And he's doing well. The problem is with him, and it's not him. I feel like that Matt Ryan does him the same way that he was doing Julio, and that is throwing the ball in traffic and getting the man clobbered by 2 or 3 defenders. And ultimately, that causes injury and everything else. But Matt Ryan is notorious for doing that. Even when we had Julio, that's what he would do. Throw the ball in traffic. You risk interceptions and you risk injury. How is your offensive line? Who will block? Well, our offensive line trash. Ain't no sense to even talking about that. Our offensive line, we can't. We got to rebuild that whole thing. Nothing to talk about with our offensive line. So
I'm guessing that Nick Bosa should be able to have a field day on getting to Matt Ryan the way it seems like, huh?
Yep. And they really gotta. Them boys gotta hold up. That's the thing. And I don't know if they can, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like this game could. I mean, it's got potential trap into it, but I'm not getting too ahead of it. I know a lot of our fans are just pumping their chests up because of the fact we beat Cincinnati. I mean, I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself like most of these guys. I mean, it's good to feel excited after a win over the Bengals, but like Atlanta, didn't we just lose to Seattle? Seattle isn't that great, and we just fell right. And even though they owned us, that's still embarrassing to lose. And then you just come and beat a team like the Bengals. That's a great week, but let's see how it goes against Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta can really exploit that secondary because our secondary right now, we don't have Mosley out there. And the best way for the Atlanta Falcons to be able to be in this game is to actually get in those deep passes. They should take in those deep shots, and that's how it should be. But I don't know how Matt Ryan does, and he holds on to the ball. So Matt Ryan may have not too much of a time to even throw the ball, and they got to be creative on offense, man. Like seriously, like for them to have a chance, try to use more of Cordero Patterson in those gadget plays. Maybe that might catch our defense off guard a little bit.
Well, see, at one point, I do know that Arthur Smith, when he was over at Tennessee, they was using the whole 3 tight end deal. We might have did that a couple of times and it worked, but then they just kind of fell by the wayside with it. So, I feel like that, like you just said, and I said it early on, we got to put the ball in the air. The problem is we haven't been doing that all season. We just have not. Matt Ryan finally let his hair down this last game and lobbed a good ball. But he hasn't been throwing 30, 40, 50-yard passes. He just hasn't been doing it. And, I don't know if it's because the play that's being called or if his arm strength isn't there anymore. He's older. The man been on the team 14, 15, 16 years, somewhere up in there. So I don't know if his arm strength, if he's losing or what. But like you said, he dropped back and either stands there like a statue, and that's what I'm saying. We got to keep Nick Bosa out the way because ultimately he gonna truck Matt Ryan in, and we all know Matt Ryan don't like to be hit, so he gonna go down and take the sack, or he gonna throw the ball and get an intentional grounding call or an interception. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It all boils down to how them boys' mentalities are when we play y'all on Sunday.
Yeah, it really depends on it. But I know a lot of us feel like, okay, I like the energy of what Real Talk is saying, but man, dude, it's like I don't want to get too ahead of myself like everybody else. I mean, we just got to look at it just one game at a time.
At a time, yep.
And
Yep.
Atlanta's playing for something too, so I wouldn't say they're out of the picture. Like I mean, this could be a playoff vibe, or maybe I could just be mistaken, but I feel like Atlanta does have an opportunity to maybe make that 7 seed. But when I look at the matchup, what does give us the better advantage is we can run the ball. So if we're able to run the ball and do those plays with Debo, I feel like this can be like the way how Real Talk just said it, a mollywop. If we do it that way, it could be. But Atlanta, if they can capitalize on turnovers and all that stuff, then it can be anybody's ball game. But when I look
Right.
at the most concerning factor, I feel like maybe your secondaries might be able to get some of those interception off of Jimmy a little bit. So maybe that might give you guys a little bit of hope right there. But your defensive line, I kind of see like maybe that's a little bit of your Achilles heels right there. Is like besides Grady Jarrett, who you got as your best interior D line, I don't know who the rest of the other guys you got. I think they're not like really producing up to that level. So it's like, do they kind of scare an opposing offense? I don't know. It's like I've seen some of your guys play, and it doesn't seem like they're not creating enough pressure, and that's part of why your defense has been gash or something like that.
Well, see, this last game that we just played on Sunday, the defense did pretty well. We capitalized, well, we tried to capitalize on some of our interceptions and stuff that we did get. And like you said, besides Grady Jarrett, we got a couple of pieces on there, but we may have to put the pressure on y'all. So if that means blitzing, you know what I'm saying? That's what we can do. But like you say, it's just our core is very small. So, if you got big guys going on, we gonna get ran over. And the whole thing about it is to just, I don't know. I honestly don't even know. Because our team is so unpredictable. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's kind of unpredictable with the Atlanta. Like when you kind of like, what are you going to expect? Is Matt Ryan going to come back to the old Matt Ryan where he played at an MVP level, or is he going to play like Ryan Fitzpatrick out there?
I don't think he. And people will say that he's MVP status this year, but I beg to differ. Because I think he can do much, much better than what he's been doing. And a lot of that comes with calling your own plays. If you see that our coach, which is brand new to our team, if you see that something that he's calling isn't working, audible and just change it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with the amount of years that we've had this man, we don't get that out of him. We don't. So we're predictable. And with Kyle Shanahan, he knows which way we gonna go.
Yeah, and he's coached Matt Ryan, so he should know his strengths and weakness, but we'll see how that plays out. I mean, the only player that seems to concern me more is maybe Kyle Pitts and then Cordell Patterson. Those are like the one main players that can probably be the X factor. And then on defense, I think besides that, you have Grady Jarrett, who I think is like one of the most underrated players on your guys' squad. And then you got a couple linebackers. I forget what the other guy's name is. That one linebacker you guys got.
We got Debo, but Debo haven't been playing up to his caliber.
Yeah, I've heard of that linebacker, and he was like a really solid like D line right there. Like he can really be your good leader. I don't know what's the guy that you guys drafted from LSU, but he was really good. Forget his name. That one linebacker you guys got on your squad.
Is it Marlon Davidson? Because he's really good too. We got Alua Khan. He's really good as well.
I was referring to the LSU linebacker that you guys drafted.
I don't know. When I tell you I'm so out of it this year because
Deion Jones.
Who?
Deion Jones, I believe, number 45.
That's what I said. Debo. That we call him Debo too.
Okay, Debo.
But he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing up to his standards this year either. And with that being said, I always feel like when those players get extensions and good contract money and stuff, they fall by the wayside, and he is one of them.
Yeah, contracts do kind of hurt certain players' status because they feel like, oh, I'm good. I don't have to worry about all this job security stuff. Like, I mean, look at what's going on with D Ford. Even though he was good in Kansas City, we paid this guy a lot of money, and he's not doing squat. And we're getting maybe better production out of a bargain out of somebody like Arden Key, who's actually kind of been a lot better as an edge rusher than he was with the Raiders. So it's like,
Mhm.
what's is better? You get something cheaper and it produces, or do you want to get something expensive that just won't produce?
Right, and that's our problem. So we've screwed up all the way back from Super Bowl era. So we're trying to just get it right, and we doing it the wrong way. Again, like I said, we wasted money, I guess if you could say, on Todd Gurley and like the Steven Jacksons and the Mike Davises, and I feel like with that, we can never really um we can't get where we want to be with doing that. So my suggestion is, if we don't win these last couple of games, not necessarily tank, but get us in a position to where we can get some good picks, because we need a lot on offense and we need a lot on defense. And we need some young legs in damn near all the positions that we have. And then too, again, it goes back to our salary cap. A lot of our good players are going to end up leaving because we're not going to have the money to give them, because we done gave it all away.
Yeah, like a lot of the cap space will play a factor with all these players, especially if they're playing solid and they might just look for a big payday elsewhere. But Atlanta, to me, is like they were like a team that was in the Super Bowl like 4 or 5 years ago. And now it's like everything's changed, declined. Matt Ryan's not the same player. A lot of these Atlanta Falcon fans I've talked to, they just don't seem as optimistic as most of these other fans I've seen out there. Like I've asked, like I have a coworker who happens to be an Atlanta fan, and he just tells me, I don't want to talk about it. This offense sucks. He says Matt Ryan's trash. I can't even trust the guy.
And I won't say he's trash, but I'm definitely on that train with you can't trust him. And I feel like, because more of not being able to extend plays is my issue with him. Matt Ryan has gotten to the point to where he doesn't like to be hit, so he'll take a sack before he throw the ball away. You know what I mean? And that hurts our team. And, like you said, we're a split fan base when it comes to this, because everybody thinks that if when he's gone, y'all gonna wish you appreciated him. It's not about not appreciating him, because we have appreciated him for what he's done for our team. But ultimately, if you're not getting anywhere, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? And by me being a season ticket holder, I've been a season ticket holder since like 1990. Okay. And we have PSLs now, and those are expensive, and they go up every year. So no matter how bad we play, those prices still go up, but you're losing your people because we're not capitalizing. And it's embarrassing to not be able to win one game at home. This whole year, I think I've left the game either second or third quarter. I haven't even stayed a full game, because it's so embarrassing to continuously lose at home, especially when the hope was to somewhat be at least a 10-17. You know what I mean? And we are like 6-7 or some junk, like something like that. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like in between, like there's just quite a few different splits between like your fan base, but I guess a lot of them are still hyping on Matt Ryan like he's still the MVP for some reason. But it's the same way with our fan base when it comes to the Jimmy stands and the ones that say start Trey Lance. It's like we're getting in one of those categories, and a lot of them just don't appreciate what Jimmy's doing right now. And I'm guilty as charged, because I'm on the both sides of the end. I was actually kind of giving him a chance, and then I started bashing him a few times, and then every now and then I just let it be, and then I kept bashing him again, and it's like, I don't know. It's like Jimmy's that kind of guy that he seems like the kind of guy you kind of would be happy with when he wins, but when he loses, you just want to tear his head off for those mistakes.
And you know what? I was so upset that y'all got Trey Lance, because honestly, that was my pick for the Falcons. And I am a strong believer that the reason why we got Kyle Pitts is because we didn't get Trey Lance.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is kind of like, I guess since you guys were trying to work on keeping Julio, but Julio wanted gone. So I guess getting Kyle Pitts would have filled that void a little bit, but he's more of a tight end. But he has that potential to be that kind of go-to number one receiver.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what the plan is to make him more of a receiver next year because I think he's lighter, right? Isn't he like 6'6", 235 or
Yeah,
something?
he's tiny. He's tall, but he's a little bit smaller than Julio. But even if, and that still goes back to me saying if we use those guys as a decoy, you know, when we're playing, we could probably get somewhere because then that way you don't know who it's gonna go to. Because now I've been thinking we haven't even been using Hurst that much because we've been using Kyle Pitts, but Hurst did a lot for us last year. So if they like I say, if they bring Kyle Pitts in and you have Hurst and use another tight end or Cordell Patterson and line them up in a certain way and use one of those guys as a decoy, then no team will not know who we gonna pick. But then too, again, that falls back on our quarterback because Matt Ryan sits in the pocket and actually surveys who he's gonna throw the ball to. And by that time, the defense done caught on, oh, we know he's gonna throw it to Pitts, or we know he's gonna throw it to Gage, or whatever the case may be. He's never really like camouflaged, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I think that's the one thing with Matt Ryan is he looks for that chemistry trust. Like if he has a one certain person he likes, he's gonna always throw it to. But
Yep.
I feel like it was going towards Calvin Ridley at one point. Now it's kind of like leaning towards Kyle Pitts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if we're talking draft expectations, I think Kyle Pitts is pretty much your best wide receiver right now at this point. And then looking at the overall trajectory, I mean, this guy we even trade up to get a guard in the second round. You could have got him in the third round, and I think he was a bust. He didn't even play much of a snap. When I'm looking at the expectation of who we had, Trey Lance isn't going to start. That's what it was. When we drafted him, we drafted him to sit and learn. So then when he gets ready for next year, that's when we feel about it. Yeah, enjoy my world. How do you feel about our tight end, George Kittle?
So I like George Kittle. I believe I have him on my fantasy. If I don't have him this year, I had him last year. I like Kittle, but I don't know if our defense will be able to take him down. It's gonna be we're gonna have to double or triple team him.
Yeah, Kittle's just a beast. Like the last couple of games, he's actually had over 150 plus yards, which is
that's what I'm saying. And see, if we get him crunked and our defense start failing, we gonna be through. If we cannot keep you all under control with that offense, that's where it's gonna get bad. But our defense has been bailing us out of a lot of our situations. So now it's for me. We got to have the ball in the air, and that's what we've been lacking.
Yeah, that's what the most concerning matchup for the Atlanta Falcons is covering George Kittle. It's not going to be easy, but then Deebo Samuel might even make your run defense look like nothing because he did it against the Vikings defense. He's did it against the Bengals defense, which I thought the Bengals had one of the better run defense, and we made them look foolish. And even Jacksonville, even though Jacksonville is like they're not good, but I thought their run defense was really good. But for some reason, Deebo just fooled them and got a touchdown off of that play.
Yep.
So it's like
lately with this whole league thing, all of the games are pretty much unpredictable. Like you get into some of the sorriest teams beating some of the best teams, that's out there. So, like I was just watching that Arizona game and it was just like, oh my God, what went wrong here? Like, were y'all just off mentally? Like, dang, but once again, when it comes to, we're going to have to contain Kittle, but if we can get to the quarterback, if we can get to Jimmy, then we might have a chance to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it takes is getting to Jimmy, slow down that running game, and then it makes us one-dimensional. But for you guys to have a chance, like, who would be that X factor? Who would have to be the one player for the Falcons on offense that would have to make the biggest difference? Like,
you already know.
Oh, already know? Okay, so it's got to be Cordell Patterson. Okay.
Of course. Without him, we are mud. We have seen it. I think he was out 2 games, and I want to say we lost both of those. If we won one, it was by a hair. But when he's gone, we really are terrible. But Kyle Pitts not gonna be it. It's gonna be Cordell Patterson, because the problem is gonna be, well, Kyle Pitts can be it if Matt Ryan puts the ball in the air. That's the thing. That's the thing. If Matt Ryan puts the ball in the air, Kyle Pitts will be the X factor. Otherwise, if we going with the running game, it's gonna be Cordell Patterson. Now you gotta watch out for I think you pronounce his name Tarjay Sharp. You gotta watch out for him as well. Yeah, so but those two, Patterson and Pitts, are going to be the X factor. Now, if we can get Matt Ryan from not being a statue in the pocket, he could potentially also be one if he figure out your defense and try to just continue to play. That's gonna be really the thing.
I got the best solution of how you guys can really beat our defense. Is simple, just quick short passes. It limits the pass rush. It neutralizes our edge rush more, because you guys did it before. If Matt Ryan just has a little bit of time and he can just throw in those short passes to his wide receivers, then you guys might be able to move the chains and wear out or neutralize the pass rush a little bit.
I'm kind of backwards with that, or I'm kind of like turned around with that, because we tried that this whole season damn near, and it hasn't worked. The short pass thing has not worked for us. It just hasn't.
Well, with Cordell Patterson, it could be because he breaks tackles. That would be your best bet, is to put Cordell.
Yeah, but then the thing about it is we gotta have the ball. We gotta do more pass plays than rushing, in my opinion. We're gonna have to put the ball in the air. That's definitely. You got to beat us like deep, especially the secondaries. Our secondaries are pretty much weakness right now. This is an opportunity to where if you give Ryan a little bit time in the pocket and he has enough time to throw the ball, this is where our secondary comes at its worst. You could try to test Josh Norman. It's going to be a PI, or you can test one of our rookie corners, and it's going to be like big chunk of plays. But like when I look at the matchup, if you guys can give Matt Ryan some time, then that might be the concerning factor. But if we're able to get the Matt Ryan, then forget about it. And that's the thing. We got to hope our offensive line doesn't collapse. That's the thing. And they're not that great. So, we just got to focus on that. But then I thought about something too. Our cornerback, AJ Terrell. If he can maintain his lane, it might be some trouble in paradise for the 49ers, because that boy has been doing an amazing job this year.
Oh, so speaking of that cornerback, so you're going to have to put him against either Ayuk or Debo, one of the two. So it depends on which matches up pretty well. But on defense, okay, so your X factor for defense. I forgot about that dude, AJ Terrell. That's one of your best corners right now, huh?
Yep.
And so outside of Grady Jarrett, that guy's good from what I'm looking at. So he would have to play a good game on shutting down Debo and limiting those pass plays. And this is where Jimmy has to figure out some other ways to throw the ball, or at least try to get the running game going. For you guys to beat us, you got to slow down the running game, because as soon as you get to Jimmy G, our offense is stalemate. So that's what it takes for Atlanta. So for the keys to the game for the 49ers to definitely beat the Falcons, it's pretty simple. Just create the way we've been doing with Deebo Samuel. Try to use him as a running back in certain ways, but try to throw him the ball too. He hasn't been really getting much of the targets as a receiver lately. But now, Brandon Ayuk.
Dante Fowler has been trying to show up, so you got to watch him too in the inside. If we can get Dante Fowler and Grady to Jimmy, we might have something going on. But like you said, we just got to get to him.
Yeah, because that's the main key, is to really get to Jimmy and get to him towards where he makes dumb mistakes. But if you guys can really slow down that running game, it can be really a tough matchup. But as far as the keys to the game for the Niners, it's like, I feel like this X factor, it has to come down to, I feel like Ayuk has been stepping up lately. But if Elijah Mitchell returns this week, this will be a big difference. So if Elijah Mitchell comes back from this injury, I feel like this running game will pretty much determine how we're finding back our formula and maintaining the way we've been doing in 2019. That running game is what got us there in the first place.
Yep.
If Elijah Mitchell returns, this is the boost of confidence that we need to have against Atlanta, is to run it down you guys' throats, kill the clock, and try to figure out ways to evolve Debo more of as a receiver, but sometimes we might use him as a running back like we've been doing lately because of the injuries at running back. But if Elijah Mitchell comes back, it's going to be kind of simple for maybe to get the pressure off of Debo. Maybe on a couple plays we might do some jet sweeps here and there, but I think we're going to use it on Elijah more on those run plays. But like when I look at the defense, the one player who has to step up is Al-Shaair. I feel like even with him, he has to be able to make those tackles and those plays on the backfield. If you're going to throw the ball to Cordero Patterson or to Mike Davis or one of the guys who catches the ball at the backfield, one of our guys has to tackle better and be able to keep you guys in long distance for that.
You will get Mike Davis, but the strength that Cordell Patterson has, you're gonna need 4, 5, 6 different men to jump on him because he is a strong guy. But as far as Mike Davis is concerned, he pushes his way, but he just don't do enough for me. He don't do enough for me.
Yeah, Mike Davis seems like that kind of guy that goes eats donuts every day in the morning and just wakes up all like, I'm doing okay.
That's it. It just he just not, he don't do it for me. It's either that or we just not using him correctly. I don't know, but he's just not doing it for me. And like I say, we're gonna have to get creative with you all because Shanahan knows us.
Yeah, the best way to go on offense is to definitely use Cordero Patterson like the way we've been using Debo. That would be your best bet. As far as score prediction, like what do you have in your score prediction with the Falcons?
If we play somewhat similar to how we played last week, I would think we would beat y'all, but it would be about a slim margin. So I'm going with 33-30.
Okay, so it could be down the wire. Wouldn't surprise me. It's
we're a field goal kicker. We still can't capitalize like we supposed to in the red zone. Fuck, we can't get 7 to save our lives.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, but when it comes down to that prediction, like, man, the Niners are playing really good. They were playing good in Cincinnati. We're playing a home game. I'm going to be attendant to that game, so I feel like the fact that this is a week where I feel more confident about this matchup than I felt the previous weeks. But Atlanta Falcons, they are going to play like they're in the playoffs. They are trying to push, so it's not like we're going to have a walk in the park with them. I feel like the Niners are going to play good. So I think we might win by a touchdown or maybe more. It wouldn't surprise me, but it depends on what Falcons team we're going to get. So if I had to be realistic, I think it comes down to 24-17 type game. I feel like Atlanta's going to give us a fight, but Niners are probably just going to be able to run the clock more. And it's probably not going to be a pretty fashion game, but it's probably going to be one of those games where it gives us the right to push in for that ticket for the playoffs. Because last time we played you guys, like in 2013, you guys weren't even playing good football, but you guys were playing hard out there. You guys were playing your best football on a primetime game. And that's where it pushed us to get our ticket to the playoffs. And
was that 13 or 12? Because we lost to y'all in 12, wasn't it? And that pissed me off to keep us from going to the was that the game that we were supposed to go to the Super Bowl in 2012?
Yeah, 2012. It was 2012, but then it was 2013 on a Monday Night Football. Okay. On a Monday Night Football game, you guys were playing very close, but you guys weren't going to go to the playoffs that year, but you guys were kind of playing like spoilers out there. And we had to make that, and that interception by Bowman kind of sealed us a playoff ticket that year.
Yep.
So
yeah, I remember that. I still had a bad taste in my mouth from 2012.
And 2013 was kind of like you guys were playing for pride, but now this is the time. Anytime we play the Atlanta Falcons, it kind of gets really interesting, really close game. They used to be once a division rivalry. At one point, they would play the Niners twice a year.
Yep.
Most of these new generation fans wouldn't even notice that. Like in those days of the division, you had the Niners, Falcons, and the Rams, and the Cardinals before then. And before then, They split it up with the Saints also, but then it started changing division. It used to unite a division together.
Yeah, I actually just received an email that said next year we will be playing the Browns, and I want to say Cincinnati was on there. So I don't know. It's switching up, and the teams that I wasn't expecting to be good this year are good, and the teams I thought, that were going to be trash, they aren't. They doing well. I'm like, damn. And then here we are I'm thinking we were at least gonna be a little bit, at least at 0.500, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
It's one of those games, but yeah, definitely. We can definitely look forward to this game, but I definitely appreciate you on the show. I know you probably got stuff to do, and definitely anybody who hasn't
Wait,
checked out
who
your
said
channel.
something about the Saints?
Oh, the
What?
Saints right here. No,
Hey, Bird Gang 31.
Bergen. Yeah, there he is. No, like you guys play the Saints twice a year. Oh, yeah, no, he was talking about the rivalry because they used to have the Saints. The Saints and Falcons are a rivalry.
Oh yeah, and that's our last game. It's gonna be at home. That thing gonna be lit. Yeah, they still are our rivalry. We still have a bad taste in our mouth about Tom Brady, and now that he's with Tampa Bay, you know that kind of be.
He
But
wrote,
yeah, the Saints will forever be our rivalry, and we actually own them. And people don't be thinking that. They think that they own us, but we really own them.
yeah, definitely does. Yeah, and when I look at that matchup, we'll wait and see. But maybe later, or maybe like after the game, or maybe like probably like weeks later, we can do a recap or something. But definitely appreciate you on the show. I know you're probably going to be on Jay and the Bay show probably later on, right?
No, I haven't even talked to Jay, and I thought about him when you and I got on. I haven't even talked to Jay and the Bay about it. Maybe I may be able to hop on his show, but on Sunday you gonna hear me talk my shit. I usually do shorts, but if you do after a recap on Sunday, I'll jump on and talk my shit, especially if we win. But you know, usually when we win by a hair. So it's just like, yeah, that person just made that last play to make us win. So if we blow y'all out, I'll be super surprised. But if we win, I wouldn't be as much. But hopefully Kyle Shanahan does not read us, or hopefully Arthur Smith does not give Kyle Shanahan that upper hand on knowing exactly what we're gonna do. So we shall see. And you know, good luck to y'all. But I'm hoping, since we do so well on the road, I'm hoping we can win. But then we're going up there. It's cold up there, right?
Yeah, it gets kind of cold down there, but yeah, I'm going to that game for sure. So it's going to be an interesting game. So it's like,
are you gonna post from the game? Like, are you gonna be there talking or whatever?
Yeah, I did it on my last video on when we were playing the Cardinals. I had that that live reaction of the Niners and Cardinals game, and I'm going to the next one. And then I had like a video of me catching on Brian Young for a little bit, and then he just left after that.
Okay.
So I snuck up on him. I snuck up on him and caught him by surprise.
I would definitely look forward to seeing you at doing that game or whatever. And I'm gonna talk junk. So if you get live and we lose and we win, I'm in your live and I'm talking junk to everybody that's in here, especially Real Talk, Niner Talk. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's on. Okay, it's on for Real Talk.
I'm just gonna remain optimistic and stay in my little corner until, you know, because like I say, we don't know what we're gonna get. But I do appreciate you having me. I'm about to get back to work now. Back to reality after this.
All right, appreciate it. For everybody else, be sure to go check out Enjoy My World's channel. It's on the description, or I'll at least put it in the community tab and all that stuff. So everybody go check out her channel. She does, what is it, like the scratch lottos and all the other stuff besides sports?
Yeah, I do mostly gambling, but sometimes I talk about stock and sports and stuff, but sports is probably 20% of my channel, but I talk shit throughout football. And when all of the teams in Atlanta are in the playoffs, like our Hawks and our Braves and stuff like that. But gambling is my thing. So if you come to my channel, that's what you're going to see majority of the time. But on Sundays, I'm going to talk my shit about football and Georgia Bulldogs. So we'll see how that go in the next couple of weeks as well. But anyway, thanks for having me on your channel once again. And I see you doing big things over here. So continue to do that. And I'll get back with you on Sunday.
All right, appreciate it. Looking forward to it. So as everybody else, CG Ruthless Sports is out and Enjoy My World is out. As always, go Niners.